Something massive is happening in Washington right now, and if you receive Social Security or SSI, you need to stop everything and pay very close attention to the next few minutes. A new bill is moving through Congress, and if it passes, it could mean a significant increase in your monthly Social Security and SSI checks. We are talking real money, hundreds of dollars more every single month landing directly in your bank account. Money that could cover your groceries, your prescriptions, your utility bills, your rent. But here is what nobody is telling you, and this is the part that makes our blood boil. Most seniors have absolutely no idea this bill even exists. The mainstream media isn't covering it the way it deserves to be covered. The politicians pushing it aren't making it easy to understand, and the people who need this information the most are the last ones to find out. That ends today. In the next few minutes, I am going to break down exactly what this new bill is, what it means for your check, who qualifies, when it could take effect, and what you need to do right now to make sure you are positioned to receive every single dollar you are owed. Do not click away. Do not skip ahead. This could be one of the most important videos you watch all year. Welcome back to Senior Updates Hub, your #1 source for breaking news, benefit updates, and real financial information built specifically for American seniors and their families. If you are new to our channel, we are so glad you found us. This is a community of millions of hardworking Americans who refuse to be left in the dark about their benefits, their rights, and their money. We cut through the government language, we cut through the confusion, and we give it to you straight, every single week. And if you have been with us for a while, you already know. When we say breaking, we mean it. Before we go any further, please take 2 seconds right now and hit that subscribe button below this video and tap the bell icon so you get notified every single time we drop new content. We publish updates multiple times a week, and in today's fast-moving political environment, being even a few days behind on benefit news can cost you money. So subscribe right now and let's make sure you never miss a thing. All right. Washington is moving. Let's talk about what's happening and what it means for you. For years, decades actually, seniors and disability recipients across the United States have been fighting a quiet, exhausting battle. The cost of living has skyrocketed. Groceries cost more, housing costs more, healthcare costs more. And for millions of Americans on fixed incomes, Social Security and SSI payments simply have not kept pace with the reality of everyday expenses. The average Social Security retirement benefit in the United States right now sits at around $1,900 per month. SSI recipients receive even less. The maximum federal SSI payment is just $943 per month for an individual. When you look at those numbers against the actual cost of living in most parts of this country, it becomes painfully obvious that something has to change. And now, there is a bill in Congress that could actually change it. The legislation being discussed, and I want to be clear that there are multiple proposals moving through both the House and the Senate right now, centers around several core ideas that directly affect how much money Social Security and SSI recipients receive every month. Let me walk you through the most important pieces. The first major element of the legislation focuses on how the annual cost of living adjustment, what most of us know as the COLA, is calculated. Right now, Social Security's COLA is tied to something called the Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners and Clerical Workers, or CPIW. The problem with this index is that it is designed to measure the spending patterns of working-age people who are still employed. It does not accurately reflect what seniors actually spend their money on. Think about it this way. Seniors spend a far higher percentage of their income on healthcare, prescription drugs, and housing than younger working Americans do. But the current COLA formula weights those categories the same for everyone. The result? Seniors consistently receive COLA increases that do not actually cover their real increase in costs. Year after year, the adjustment falls short. The proposed change would switch the calculation to the CPI-E, the Consumer Price Index for the elderly. This index actually tracks the spending patterns of Americans aged 62 and older. It gives more weight to healthcare costs, to prescription medications, to the services that seniors actually use. Economists who have studied this change estimate that switching to the CPI-E could increase the annual COLA by roughly 0.2 to 0.3% more than the current formula every single year. That might sound small, but compounded over 10, 15, or 20 years of retirement, that difference adds up to thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income. And for SSI recipients who are already living on the absolute edge of financial survival, even a few extra dollars per month can mean the difference between eating and not eating, between keeping the lights on or not. The second major component of the legislation addresses the special minimum benefit under Social Security. This is a provision that was originally designed to ensure that workers who spent their entire careers in low-wage jobs, people who worked hard their whole lives but never earned high salaries, would still receive a Social Security benefit that keeps them out of poverty. The problem is that the special minimum benefit has not been updated meaningfully in decades. It has fallen so far behind inflation that it is now essentially worthless. The regular Social Security formula pays more than the minimum benefit for almost everyone who qualifies for it. In other words, the safety net that was supposed to protect America's lowest-earning seniors has a massive hole in it. The new bill proposes to restore and strengthen the special minimum benefit, tying it directly to the federal poverty level and ensuring that no American who worked for at least 30 years would receive a Social Security benefit below 125% of the federal poverty line. For a single individual in 2024, 125% of the federal poverty level works out to approximately $1,770 per month. That is significantly higher than what many long-term, low-wage workers currently receive. For millions of seniors who spent their careers in service industries, agriculture, domestic work, and other essential but low-paying fields, this change alone could represent hundreds of dollars in additional monthly income. Now, let's talk about SSI specifically, because SSI recipients are among the most financially vulnerable people in this entire country, and they deserve direct, clear information. The Supplemental Security Income Program has not had its asset limits updated since 1989. You read that correctly. The limits that determine whether you qualify for SSI have not been meaningfully adjusted in over 35 years. Right now, an individual receiving SSI cannot have more than $2,000 in countable assets. A couple cannot exceed $3,000. These limits were set when Ronald Reagan was president. They have never been adjusted for inflation. What this means in practical terms is devastating. If a senior on SSI manages to save even a modest emergency fund, say $3,000 or $4,000, they lose their benefits. The system literally penalizes people for trying to be financially responsible. It traps people in poverty and punishes any attempt to build even the most basic financial cushion. The proposed legislation includes a significant increase to the SSI asset limits, with some proposals calling for raising the individual limit to $10,000 and the couple limit to $20,000, with future adjustments tied to inflation, so this never becomes outdated again. This change would allow SSI recipients to save for emergencies, for medical expenses, for car repairs, for all the unexpected costs that life throws at everyone, without fear of losing their benefits. There is also discussion within this legislation of increasing the federal SSI payment itself. Several proposals on the table would raise the maximum monthly SSI payment to at least 100% of the federal poverty level, which would represent an increase of several $100s per month for the millions of Americans currently receiving the maximum SSI benefit. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You've heard about bills before. You've seen things get introduced in Congress and then disappear. You're wondering, is this actually going to pass? That is a completely fair question, and I am going to give you an honest answer. The political path for legislation like this is never simple. There are members of Congress on both sides of the aisle who support increasing Social Security and SSI benefits. There are also members who raise concerns about the long-term financing of these programs. The debate is real, and the outcome is not guaranteed. But here is what is different this time. Public pressure on this issue is at an all-time high. The 2024 and 2025 election cycles put Social Security front and center in a way we have not seen in a generation. Seniors vote in higher numbers than any other demographic group in America. Politicians know this. And with multiple pieces of legislation moving simultaneously, including the Social Security Fairness Act, which was actually signed into law in January 2025, and eliminated the windfall elimination provision and government pension offset that had been reducing benefits for nearly 3 million public employees. There is real momentum in Washington right now for benefit improvements. The Social Security Fairness Act alone resulted in increased monthly payments for retired teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other public servants who had been penalized for receiving government pensions. Some of those recipients saw increases of $500, $600, even $700 per month. That was real legislation, recently signed, already delivering real money to real people. And that victory is now being used as a launching pad to push for even broader improvements. So, what does this mean for you right now? What do you need to do? The first thing you need to do is make sure you are registered at mysocialsecurity.gov. Go to that website today and create your account if you don't already have one. This is your official portal with the Social Security Administration, and it is where you will see updates to your benefit, any changes to your payment amount, and important notices about your account. When legislation passes that affects your benefits, the SSA updates your account. You need to be connected. The second thing you need to do is contact your representatives. I know that might sound like something that doesn't make a difference, but it genuinely does. Especially on this issue. A phone call or an email to your senator or congressional representative telling them that you support legislation to increase Social Security and SSI benefits takes 5 minutes and adds your voice to a growing chorus that politicians are paying close attention to. You can find your representatives at congress.gov. The third thing you need to do is stay informed, not just today, every week, because this situation in Washington is moving fast and the details matter. The difference between one version of a bill and another could be hundreds of dollars in your monthly check. You need a reliable source that breaks this down in plain language, and that is exactly why this channel exists. Here is where we land today. A new bill, actually multiple pieces of legislation, are working their way through Congress right now with the potential to significantly increase Social Security and SSI payments for millions of Americans. The proposals include a smarter COLA calculation using the CPIE, a restored and strengthened minimum benefit for long-term low-wage workers, dramatically higher SSI asset limits that would end the devastating savings penalty, and a potential increase to the maximum SSI payment itself. None of this is guaranteed. But all of it is real, all of it is being actively debated, and all of it directly affects your financial life. The people who benefit most from these changes will be the people who are informed, who are engaged, and who take action, not the ones who wait and hope someone else figures it out for them. You have worked too hard and paid into this system for too long to sit on the sidelines now. So share this video right now with every senior you know, with your parents, your grandparents, your neighbors, your friends. Post it in your Facebook groups. Send it in your family chats, because this information is too important to stay inside your phone. Subscribe to Senior Updates Hub if you have not already. We are going to keep tracking every development on this legislation, every vote, every update, and we are going to break it all down for you in plain, simple language the moment it happens. This is your money. This is your future. And we are not going anywhere until every American senior gets every single dollar they have earned. Thank you for being part of this community. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.